So Jimmy Butler had a pretty decent game, I'd say, in Game 4 against the Bucks, 56 points. And I'm not going to go through every one of those 56 points in this specific one. But I do want to go through some stuff that we saw late in the game. Like I said, it was a 10-point. They're down 10 with 5 minutes left. Jimmy has like 37 at that point. He goes off for 19 across the last 5 minutes. But the intriguing thing is the fact that they just went at the same action over and over late in the game. So I just want to showcase kind of what not only the Heat were trying to do to the Bucks, but it was a lot of just Jimmy measured masterclass of just figuring out this defense down the stretch. So we start out here early. Basically, you're just going to watch. They have Drew on Jimmy. That's ideally what they want at all times. They're going to keep trying to put Middleton in the action, which was interesting. They're just trying to pull him into the action over and over because they know if they pull Grayson Allen into the action, which is the matchup you'd rather, they're not going to allow it. They're not going to ever give up that switch. What they at times will give up the Middleton switch. So you see right here, they're putting Duncan as a screener because Middleton's guarding him. Right here early in this game, we're not early in this little fourth quarter run, they give up this switch. And now the interesting part is now Jimmy's going one-on-one with Middleton. And when I say one-on-one, I mean literally one-on-one because they were not sending any help at Jimmy. You see right here, the setup right before I click play. Jimmy's about to just kind of try to get to the cup right here. You have Brook and Giannis playing weak side defenders. You also have at the top of your screen, Caleb Martin in that strong side quarter. You'd expect them to send help down and make Caleb Martin hit shots, which is usually what teams do. And you're going to see right here what they actually do. Jimmy's able to get by Middleton. He just walks right by Connaughton on that strong side, and he's able to get to the cup. No help at all, and he's able to get the N1, which is really what sparked this kind of run. So now we get into some of the other stuff that we saw, specifically with this action. Now, Grayson Allen's in, but like I said, he's now guarding Duncan, and they're not going to put him in the action. Kyle Lowry as a screener was the thing they kept going to because Middleton's guarding him. They're trying to see what they can get. And you're going to see right here, they're going to flip a screen right here, see what they can do. Middleton's going to hedge the screen, try to recover. Drew's going to get there late. He's not going to be able to. Jimmy bursts by. The reason this gets a little interesting is you're going to look, and I've talked about this a lot because I've talked to Caleb Martin about this. He says it's usually teams put their best player on them to take possessions off. Well, in the Bucks case, they put their best player on him because that's the best weak side defender there is probably in this league. So they're just going to fully help off Caleb Martin as you see with Giannis. Now, Jimmy's going to get to the cup, and you're going to just watch everything be measured. Brook helps over. Giannis extremely helps over. Jimmy knows that Caleb's open right here, kicks it out. Caleb hits a big-time bucket, somehow gets his feet behind the line, so I don't know how he made that. If his foot was on the line, it was 100% going in. But either way, it was just kind of a smart play that they're able to kind of just figure out this action over and over. Now we get into it again. Insert to Jimmy. It's a 2-point game. They need a bucket under 2 minutes to go. So what do? They send Caleb kind of an insert, clear out. Now Kyle's going to come to screen right here. So you're going to see similar thing. Kyle's going to try to reverse the screen right here and tries to get an angle. Really good screening job by Kyle. So now Drew, the defender that he is able to kind of cut it off, thinking Jimmy's going to try to get to the basket. So what does Jimmy do? He's measured. He's going to take a little step back baseline jumper. He's going to get fouled on this jumper. So it was just stuff over and over of him just reacting to what Drew and Middleton were doing in this action. So now we're at a minute and a half to go. And this is what it all comes down to, because now you're down 2 with a minute and a half, probably the biggest possession in the game. And all of those possessions that I just showed previously were all baiting it up to this point. Like every single one of those reactions to every one of those defensive coverages was all setting up for this right here. So instead of going the same thing, you see Caleb in motion right here, getting ready to clear out. Instead of going a little side pick and roll where you try to go empty corner, Jimmy's going to take this to the middle of the floor. And this is why things get interesting. You can't find an angle to cut off baseline and trap or sideline and trap. This is just full-on Jimmy excellence right here. Drew's going to disrespectfully go under. They're not even going to hardly show and recover. They're just going to say, try to get to the basket because we're just going to let you shoot from 3. So Jimmy says, okay, I'll just pull it from 3 over the top of you. And he ends up hitting probably the biggest shot of the night to go up 1. But I just thought the fact that they were able to go to this screening action, put Middleton in, and kind of just react to whatever the coverage that the Bucks kind of threw at him. And he was just hitting. It was pretty much that simple. If you have 56 points, it's clear that you're hitting no matter what coverage you're facing.